Hi, Hugo. Tim Hotze, Minaret 97. Thanks for taking the time. So you've been off to a lightning start this year. 4 goals, near the top of the leaderboard early on in the season for goals in the league. What do you think has been really powering you to that start so far?
I think first of all, I had a challenging preseason. So it was more about putting the work in to get healthy again and being prepared mentally to go on the first game. And I think the group and the staff did a good job by making the principles pretty clear, and it helped me a lot getting ready right away.
Alex Campbell from CHGO. Hugo, you touched on it there, the implementation of the new tactics, new system. As a striker, how would you say the way Greg wants the team to play and the system he's trying to implement benefits you and puts you in good positions to score?
I think his whole vision is about creating a lot of chances, being an offensive team, and I think that's what every striker wants. Creating not only as many chances as possible, but the best quality of chances as well, and I think we have done a pretty good job so far already.
Hugo, La Fiera Deportiva, we asked these to other players how difficult it is or how pleasant it is to have players coming in and stepping up for the ones that are injured and also making a good role in the games, the winning.
I think that's also what I already touched on is having clear principles and trying to make it as easy as possible for the players that come back from injury or that play their first games. And it's up to us then to the guys that play more games to try to make it as easy as possible for them.
Tim Hotze again. So you've been talking about the principles that Greg's system has had in place. It looks like you're also showing different parts of your game under the new system with the principles that he's got. We've seen you, sometimes working almost as like a kind of winger in some place, putting crosses into the box. Can you describe how your role has changed in that part of your game this year under the new system?
I don't think it has changed that much. Every once in a while, I might drop low or be on the sides, but I think the biggest difference is that we operate more on the opposition's half than we did last year, and we're less of a counter-attacking team than we were last year. And then I think overall I have qualities that can fit a little bit every system and that I can adapt quite easily.
Alex Campbell again, and then speaking of adapting, obviously new additions to the team this year. You've had a month of games now working with new guys, particularly Jonathan Bamba, Philip Zinkernagel. What's your role in trying to build those relationships, and how do you go about, besides just getting those reps in games, how do you go about building relationships with guys who you're going to be in close proximity to and combining with in the attack?
Like I said, the tricky part was missing preseason, so I didn't get to know them on the field and their specific qualities. I think we try and do our best now with the 4 games we had. Phil had a little bit of discomfort to those last games, so hopefully now we can all of us stay healthy and build from there. But for the rest, it's something that comes naturally by training and playing games, and the more you win, the easier it gets too.
Obviously, last year, Sergio was not starting the team. I want to know how you like the systems between Sergio, Guti, and you, and the top of it. How that's playing with them?
I think Sergio has integrated really well. You see all those qualities coming out in the way the coach wants us to play and wants him to play in midfield. And for me, it makes my job easier when I have guys like that behind me that see my runs, that understand my movements, and hopefully we can still continue to improve on that.
Now we'll take some questions from Zoom. We'll start with Joe Chatz from OnTap Sportsnet.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Hugo. Appreciate the time. On a slightly similar note, Hugo, there's a lot of the international guys who came in this offseason and talked about how you were one of the first people to reach out and try to help them adjust to being in Chicago. I'm curious how your first year of being the new guy helped shape bringing in newer people from Europe and how you're helping them adjust to MLS and living in Chicago.
One of my biggest challenges last year was all the adaptations coming in from Europe and in the US, there is a lot of admin that has to be done, a lot of planning into finding a new home and moving. So I knew how challenging it would be for them, and just me telling them that if there was anything they needed, or just telling them that a couple things were coming their way that maybe I didn't expect, I think for them made it a little bit easier. But there's still a lot of things obviously I can do for them. But I think just being there as a support is a big help for them.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, we'll go to Jim Alexander from Real Talker.
Hugo, obviously the hot start has been fantastic, but you've been scoring so many goals from the back post, and that's been even said on the broadcast last week. Your success in the back post. Do you expect to continue being dominant in the back post, or guys starting to mark you differently to sort of get you away from that area possibly? How do you sort of foresee an adjustment you might need to make since you've been such a threat in the back post?
I think it's more about highlighting the weaknesses that opponents might have. But again, a weakness doesn't mean they will always be vulnerable. And same for qualities. It's up to me to try and adjust in real time. And depending on the areas where the balls come from, it's up to me, like I said, to finding the right spaces. And it ended up being twice at the far post so far. So yeah, good for us. But I mean, we're only 4 games in, so the season is still very long. I think when you look back overall on the season, it's maybe close to a 50-50 front post, second post. So we'll see how the season gets.
Sounds good. Thank you.
So last question, I guess for me, this is a game that's going to be played basically indoors on artificial turf, and I wanted to know how that affects sort of the way that you like prepare for the game at all, if it does, and what you think about playing on artificial surfaces, especially indoors.
Personally, I'm not a big fan of it, but I guess there's not much I can do about it. It's more preparing mentally, I think. It's knowing the conditions we will be in, and obviously not taking them for excuses. It's still up to us to play our game, to go there and have a good result.
You probably gonna talk this tomorrow, and you have talking about Vancouver. You know, they haven't lost one game yet, or they're on top of the league, and it's a good team to beat. How's gonna be this match for you guys coming into Vancouver and trying to make a statement?
It's not so much about making a statement. I think since the beginning of the season, we have been trying to build game after game, which I think we have done pretty well so far. And we still have a long way to go. And going to Vancouver is knowing we'll face a good opponent that, like you said, haven't lost yet. And hopefully by playing our game and staying true to our identity, we can put them in problems.